Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Speedrunner Showcase, featuring our good friend Olaf. Olaf, introduce yourself. Say hello.
Hello, I'm Olaf or VilleOlof, and I play marbles and I play a lot of Beat Saber.
A lot of Beat Saber. Oh yeah, this guy's pretty good at Beat Saber too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I do.
Pretty much all you do. Good to know. Well,
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this. Whoops. Mess with my stream settings here. Looking forward to this because you set a fairly significant PB just yesterday.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty massive.
Pretty massive indeed. And your previous PB, or let's pull this up on the screen right about now. Now let me get myself down here a little bit too. There we go. We'll pull myself out of the way. Here in your previous PB on the leaderboards, you're sitting at a 49 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So just kind of barely sub 50 for context for anybody who's watching this. And now let's look at what this run is. 41:55. That is an 8-minute improvement. Think about that for a moment. Anybody who's seen this show before, anybody who's seen VilleOlof speedrunning or speedrunning in general, you got an 8-minute improvement from barely sub 50 to sub 42. So we're gonna watch that today and see just how crazy it can get. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go right back to the beginning of the video, and we'll sync up so we're watching at the same time. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Let's begin. And I believe you only have in-game audio, right?
Yeah, I have in-game audio and everything.
Okay, that'll work.
So the video started at 3 seconds because when I clicked start recording, I pressed recording, then took a few moments for it to actually begin the recording. So
yeah, and I can kind of verify that based on seeing what the timer was when the video actually started as well. So that's not too big of a deal. That's very much within the small thing that we can work out, and this can still be verified.
Yeah.
Not too big of a deal. So, yeah, like we were saying, 8-minute improvement. And even now, looking at your splits, it says sum of best segments is 45 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So that tells me you did really well. You must have set a lot of gold splits here.
Yeah, I think chapter 4, 5, and 6 are golds, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, gold splits can be pretty big when you use chapter splits rather than individual level splits. That's for sure. So tell me about what you were doing in preparation for when you set this run.
So one thing that I discovered that I was doing different from my old runs, that I was using much more camera movement in this run. So I'm turning my camera much more to, like, let's say on transit, when I go up the elevators, to use my camera up to time my jump correctly.
Right.
And also have a kind of a diagonal camera to get more of a smooth turn in some example.
Okay.
So since I'm on keyboard, I can't really use controller turn. Keyboard and mouse.
Okay, keyboard and mouse player.
Yeah.
You're a rare breed these days.
Yes. Then I kind of like trained to do a smooth turn even with a keyboard that is not too bad, I would think.
Yep. Yeah, cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
kind of gradually turning with the mouse almost in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then in the last couple of days, I have, of course, trained for a bunch of skips, like the kick flips, off kilter, coggers. There's a bunch of skips I've used that I didn't use before.
Yeah, we'll see those when we get to those.
Yeah.
Very cool. Looking forward to seeing those new strats that you've implemented in your run. Standard transit, I approve of that. I think transit skip is crazy. You really have to,
it's insane.
I mean, sure, chapter 2 or chapter 2 runs, it's one thing, but during full game,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a risk, I think.
Yeah, a bit risky.
Yep. And what was your time after chapter 1? A 2:18, so a solid start.
Yeah. I'm surprised I was behind and I regained so much time as you will see at the end of chapter 2 that I think I golded here, or at least was really far. Well, wait, what? I was really ahead of my old PB, so chapter 2 was really solid.
Nice. Nice, yeah. I mean, like chapter 2 seems pretty clean so far. And in your previous PB, you had a 7:07 at the end of chapter 2.
Yeah.
I find the time at the end of chapter 2 is a nice benchmark for, what the start of the run was. Like, I notice you have your split run begins at the end of chapter 2, and that's totally true. That's totally when like the run starts, and all the levels with skips and interesting strats begin.
Yeah. I'm also very happy with my early game times. So like I think it's almost, or it is sub 7 minutes on chapter 2, and then just like continues. So I'm really happy with how I have decreased the time in my early chapters.
Yeah, you have some great splits to go against as well.
Yeah. I could really like make a barely like a really low 2-minute chapter 1 if I wanted to, but then just like up the wall and that's super speed level, I forgot what the name.
Yeah, you have to reset a lot for that kind of thing. If you really insist on a very fast chapter 1, then you're gonna end up doing chapter 1 a lot more than you really want to, I think, in full game.
And then they're gonna save like 8 seconds, and it's not gonna be worth anything.
That much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's better to get more attempts into the late game than to grind down for every possible second.
Yeah.
At least for now. Maybe once you get super optimized and you're like the marble god of Marble It Up, then you can aim for those low 2 chapter 1s.
Yeah. If that were to happen.
Speaking of Marble God, this is a really good triple divide you got going on here.
Oh yeah.
Clean. Very clean. Good gameplay.
Not bad at all.
And how are you feeling now at this point about your speedrunning career? Just for again, if you're making a big time save with this, and you're putting yourself in the sub 42 range, how do you feel about how you got here and where you're going to go from here?
So my goal for now, at least, has been just to get a sub 40, since I think I'm enough of capable of doing it. Just I'm gonna need to grind and maybe take in a new skip or something, and then just get a clean run with no major mistakes or deaths, really.
Very cool. Yeah, and setting your goal for sub 40 when you were barely sub 50, kind of bold, but here you are, and you're within firing range of that sub 40. I mean, for myself, I had a 41:45 as of last week, and now I'm sub 40 now. So, if you stick with this, potentially, you could do really, really well.
Oh wait, one thing I was surprised over in this one, I didn't do fast sugar rush, but on the same day I got this PB, I learned fast sugar rush, so
free time save.
Yeah, it was much easier than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not one of the harder skips or anything like that. It's just the thing you have to know. You can't do it without practicing it. You can't just improvise it in a run, or you could, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I got a 7 flat on chapter 2.
Right.
And I think my best time was like a 6:42 or something.
6:42 is an extremely good chapter 2 finish.
Yeah.
That's really strong.
That's like I'm starting to get like happy with my early chapters because I feel like they are starting to get really solid.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's about how many runs in the course of a day you can get to the end of chapter 2 in around 7 minutes or less.
Yeah.
I think. And the more often you can do that, then the more chances you get to set a PB.
Yeah. One thing that I'm trying to tell myself is that I need to don't reset as much as I do.
Okay.
When I'm in like maybe chapter 3, 4, I die maybe a couple of times. I'm maybe behind by like 20-30 seconds. I like get really stressed and I often reset because of like a single level.
That could be a trap.
Yeah.
That can be tempting for sure to reset under those circumstances, but I know with the amount of time saved you must have left in the run, that it's okay to fall behind 20 or 30 seconds at this point in the race.
I compare myself to some other runners that have sub 40. Example has Savadra, and for example in the early chapters I'm ahead by a few seconds, and then it comes to chapter 6 and he's ahead by 2 minutes on chapter 6 alone.
Yep, chapter 6 is Savadra in particular has a great chapter 6.
Yeah, I need to practice a lot on consistency on chapter 6.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the chapter that most people need the most practice on. Just by nature of the difficulty that comes involved with it. Now this off-kilter skip is beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah, well, was it second try, I think?
It was second try, but it looked like, based on the time you reset, you still saved time with it.
What I usually get with no off-kilter skip is like 23 seconds, so yeah, I think it saved time no matter what I did there.
First or second try, yeah. So good job for you. I still need to implement that, and I told myself I would do it when I hit sub 40, and I will.
Yeah.
It's always kind of intimidated me a little bit, but I'll give it a shot soon.
Yeah, the start is just painful.
Alright, coming in totally tubular.
I don't like totally tubular.
You don't like it? Does it kill runs?
Yeah. No, it doesn't really kill runs, but I just feel so slow on the level.
Oh yeah.
Like I just get like 19 and 20 seconds and I just feel slow and get such high launches out of the tube.
Yeah, well you could go for IL. No, I'm just kidding, don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea, especially for Super Bowl.
You have an interesting kind of finish route here, but I guess it works. It's about a second slower than what most of us do, but...
Wait, what do you other do? I don't know.
We can look back at Time Capsule here for a second, and just so you... basically, right here, when you pick up the last gem, basically, what we normally do is we turn around, and we go up the other way.
Oh.
It's not that much faster, but it is faster.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that takes you up just from the opposite side of this goal.
You know we're gonna be on different times on the video.
Oh yes, that's true. Okay. I shouldn't have gone back because we were doing that differently. Okay, I'm just at the very beginning of Cog Valley, and I'm paused with a timer at, like, go.
Wait, you're at level 28 on the timer.
Okay, you're at 11:28 on timer, paused?
Wait. Okay, I'm like exactly on yours now.
Okay. Okay. Ready, set, go.
Okay.
I didn't think that through when I went back to look at the video again. So remembered you were watching another instance of your own video and not actually watching the stream. Anyways, that is all good. Okay, not first try coggers.
And not second try
Not
either.
second.
This hurts to watch a bit, but
Oh,
I think I get this third. Yeah.
Trust me, I understand. I'm actually. Ooh, ooh. Oh, that does hurt.
Oh,
That does hurt.
I forgot about that.
Yep, that does hurt.
Ooh.
The worst ones are the ones you knew were savable after the fact, but
Yeah.
you couldn't react in time.
Okay,
Those-
yeah,
those are the worst.
that's the fourth shot.
Yep.
That was it.
And a 220 coming out of Chapter 3 is not that bad. It's actually pretty decent, so even with the 4th or 5th try coggers, you're doing all right. But certainly could have been sub 12 out of there.
Yeah,
under better,
definitely sub
under
12.
better coggers circumstances.
Yeah.
And sub 12 is another one of those benchmarks that I'd really, really like to see. But, you know, 1220 is pretty good considering how many difficult elements of Chapter 3 there can be.
Yeah, there's like off kilter, there's coggers, and there's like sugar rush at the start.
Yeah, you didn't do elevator action skips or anything like that, but even so, you did that and, you know, you didn't die, so you're not necessarily guaranteed to save time with elevator action skip, that's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't bothered learning that yet. I really hate that skip.
I do enjoy hearing about what kind of skips people like doing and don't like doing. Like, you're fine with off kilter, for example, but not elevator action. And for me, it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah, I can see that. I know some people have like a decent, consistent way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, they're both skips that you have to have a feel for, right?
Yeah.
It's not like totally precise. It's kind of more getting to know the level and really understanding it intuitively. And
I was barely onto the platform.
Yep, that's fast cycle, fast start. You can still make this elevator cycle without the fast start, but
it seems like a bit harder.
yeah, it depends, but
yeah.
Yeah, still
Going
not bad.
safe.
You got the fast cycle, so good for you.
Yeah. I got what I wanted.
Climbing up Sunspire. Finally done Sunspire.
Wait,
That's a
yeah,
long
that was a
level.
PB on Sunspire.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I love in-game PBs during RTAs. I do wonder if anyone's ever going to set a world record during a full game run. I don't know if it's ever happened. I don't think it ever has happened.
Which levels would you...
I mean,
would like a world record be in then?
good question. I mean, it's primarily levels that don't have time travels, obviously.
Yeah. It could be like Cog Valley, could be Retrograde Valley.
Yep. Could be no, not Retrograde Rally. There's no way. The
if someone was mad enough to do it.
Yeah, the IL strats for this are way more difficult than, and they don't save very much time, but they do save time. All right, what are we going for? Are we going for the extra slow retrograde skip? That's like a pretty good skip. It's really not much slower. Just like maybe 3 or 4 seconds slower, I would guess.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, and it's still definitely faster than not doing any skip. But you've seen, you were practicing, I guess it would have been this morning for you, and you saw that the skip that many of us do is actually not that much more difficult.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to practice that tomorrow or later today and see if I can maybe take that into my future runs.
Right.
And I think I often fail on Gearhards. I have almost completely forgotten how this run went. Oh, I actually did the thing. I almost failed the rock hit, the first one.
Yep, those happen. The first one is definitely harder than the second one with this route. But you don't lose much time for it, so not a big deal. Acrophobia, I'm interested to see what kind of start you do on acro.
Yeah, I didn't know about the other start.
Yeah, the trim hit.
Yeah.
Okay, standard start it is then.
I also failed that trim hit in a run earlier today, like 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row. I've failed that several times in a row in my previous PB recently. And lost a lot of time. But I was going for a more difficult version that kind of skips a step.
Oh. Alright. Well, you just skip to the gem directly, I guess.
Skip directly to the gem, yeah. Which is, it's kind of swaggy, but it doesn't save that much time. And it's probably not worth the risk most of the time.
Yeah.
Maybe in chapter, I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess that's kind of the definition of a swag strat, as if it is not worth the risk, but you go for it anyways, just for style points.
Yeah, that's like what I do with Stay Frosty sometimes. Oh, I missed it.
Now that was style points right there. Just jump over the gem.
What I do usually is that I always do Stay Frosty, like no matter what, because it's a nice and it's a really cool strat to use early on.
Yep, I get it. I get it, and especially because you can reset if you miss it, and it's not that big of a deal. Chapter 1.
I mean, I would like to think that I have almost like a 80% consistency on Stay Frosty, so I'm always comfortable doing it.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it. I noticed you just kind of barely messed up here on Ex Machina, but maybe coming back and going underneath. Pretty good time.
Yeah.
1 death. You're fine. Chapter 4 can... Chapter 4 is a little bit longer than the previous chapters. So, getting it deathless all the way through Chapter 4 can be a little bit more difficult.
This is the first major time save you see on the timer. You see my old split on Chapter 4.
Looks like your old split was 20 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah.
On finishing Chapter 4. And now, I'm not sure why it's called Bumper. Why is it called Bumper?
Because of Bumper.
There's no bumper right now at the end of this.
No, I think just because of Bumper Invasion at the start.
Oh, Bumper Invasion at the start of this split. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. But you split at the end of Diamond in the Sky, and you're 1 minute and 13 seconds ahead. Which, I guess, as we know, based on what your final time is and your previous PB, that's kind of small amount of time save compared to what we're going to see later.
I'm kind of loud, apparently.
Don't worry, I can fix that on my end. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to turn down that audio overall. Thanks for the feedback in chat for letting us know about the audio. Okay, so Chapter 5 is underway, and at this point in the run, how are you feeling?
I was starting to get a bit nervous because how I was ahead by over a minute on Chapter 4, so I was starting to get a bit nervous.
And did you have any idea at this point what kind of time you thought you might be getting?
I thought I was gonna get like my goal for this run. I think was to just beat Marbler, and he's 45. Because my old PB before this specific run was a 46 that I never submitted to the Speedrunner leaderboard.
That's a sin. You're banned. Again.
So I had 46 before, and so I was like maybe 1.5 minute behind Marbler, so I wanted to beat him in this run. So that was kind of my goal. Then it went further than that.
Very nicely done. So you didn't even have like sub 42 on your radar at this point in the run.
Nah, that was totally like I didn't expect it at all.
That's cool. And I know you generally, and for this run, you weren't streaming this. This was kind of an offline PB. And you do most of your runs that way?
Yeah. So when I tried to do speedrun my or live stream my run earlier today, I couldn't really focus that much on the game while live streaming. It was kind of hard for me, so I just prefer doing it offline if I'm doing serious PB attempts.
I think I can understand that.
Yeah.
Are there any like pros and cons or advantages and disadvantages that you would say between streaming and not streaming?
Not really, except that I also like have a chat and people to kind of entertain a bit.
Right, so it feels like there's more responsibility involved.
Yeah, and less focus on the game, and a little bit focus on the live streaming side of point.
Fair enough. All right, Gordian, your favorite level?
Oh.
To be fair, this run was before your you failed a bunch of times on Gordian and rage quit on the game during a run that came after this, and you were like a minute ahead of even this run, which honestly, considering the pace you're on right now, being a minute ahead of this would put you in a very good position.
Yeah, it's just that I just feel a bit inconsistent on later levels, so I guess I just need to do like chapter 5 and 6 runs, I guess.
Yep, chapter 6 runs are good. Chapter 5 runs are fine. Crystalline Matrix, do you do anything here?
Nothing fancy at all.
Yeah, it looks like you're set up for standard. That's good. You can't really lose time by not doing the skip. Unless you've already done the skip in a previous run.
I don't think I have ever done that skip. Or maybe like once. So maybe if I get like sub 40, I'll try to do with that. But for now, I'm not going to do the skip.
Wow. That was scary. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Bounce.
All that for super speed.
Yeah, that was scary.
I'm glad you survived. That would have been almost all of your time save back down the drain.
Yeah, pretty much. I did have the early checkpoint right before, so it wasn't that.
Oh yeah,
big.
that is true.
15 seconds maybe, at most.
Good that you were aware of that and cognizant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, chapter 5 seems to be going pretty well.
Yeah.
And it looks like your split for chapter 5 is 30 minutes and 8 seconds. And I believe uphill both ways is about halfway through.
Yeah, I think that.
What are your favorite levels in chapter 5?
Probably Warp Core, and
Warp Core, that's a good one.
I really like that kind of level and just going all over the place.
Right.
And I guess also Flip the Table now that I actually know the better route for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of hard to name any other level.
Okay. Any excuse me. Any levels on chapter 5 that you really don't enjoy?
Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Probably uphill both ways because I have failed quite some runs on the bumper in the level and the overall level.
Yeah, with the route that we normally do, you lose a lot of time if you die there on that bumper on uphill both ways, just because we kind of skip the checkpoints. Oop,
Ooh.
There's a gem. It's okay. As long as you wait out the cycles, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no screen shake. No screen shake.
I think I do that when
we're gonna turn off the no, I'm kidding.
I think I do it when I was frustrated or just
Spliced.
waiting.
No. I was watching the whole time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It was just a big like blue screen there where you spliced it into the next run.
Yeah. Just don't look at the screen.
Yep. Well, you do have it looks like you do have some strats on Vertigo that you've practiced.
Yeah. And I don't know what other people use for the start, what technique they use, but I experimented and found a setup that works every time to get to the first checkpoint.
First checkpoint. Yeah, a lot of people are going for that first checkpoint, and I think it does save time even if you fall off. So it's it's a good strat.
I have kind of like strats like bounce, jump, and then exactly after the jump I go 45 degrees. And then
Right.
hold jump, and
Yep.
that always gets me to the checkpoint.
Yeah, you get a feel for it, and sometimes you can even do better and not fall off. Sometimes you can even get up to the second checkpoint with that strat if you hold a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So it's a good strat. The only thing I don't like about the strat and makes it a little bit bittersweet is that it makes it a lot less likely that we're going to see more deathless runs in the future. Even though they might be faster because of the strat. You take a checkpoint, then it's not deathless.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. And this is also very insane. Like my split for chapter 5 was 30 minutes and 8 seconds, and I'm on Pit of Despair on 28 minutes.
Yeah, you're still going to be less than 2 minutes ahead, which tells me that most of your time save comes in chapter 6. But that's not surprising. That's what I would expect from most runners, especially somebody putting in that much time save.
Yeah. There's so many stuff I haven't done on first try, for example. Like escalation took a few tries to get.
Yep. Yeah, so even there, like, you only saved 5 seconds over the course of chapter 5, but I guess knowing how much time save there was available in chapter 6, you're still in a good place for a big PB.
And at this point, I was gonna beat Marble, which was my goal, and I was under 45 minutes even. So
just by going even.
Yeah.
Just by going even at this point, you're set for your goal for the run. And yeah, you pull out something which is obviously going to be even more spectacular. I'm excited to see this.
Like, this is also fun for me to watch because I have forgotten what I did in this run.
Yep. Watching your own run can be an experience, and I'm actually I'm planning to do something a little bit different myself later. I am going to be watching my own run and feeling the pain that comes with that. But that's going to be after a break on this stream. But yeah, I do know how it feels to watch your own run, and sometimes you're watching the things you do right and the things you do wrong. It can be surprising.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to the little details as you're running all the time.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I took into this run from my old PP was the super speed start on the Platinum Playground.
Right. You're doing a unique gem route for sure on this side.
Yeah. So yeah,
I did see the start.
This is what I usually do, and I have changed it now. But this is what I always had done, and then I changed up the start. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a good run.
And then in now I just took Savadra's route. I don't know where he got it from, but whatever route he uses for Platinum Playground, I just took that and uses that now.
Yeah, we have done a few route optimizations. I was experimenting with some yesterday, so I think this has potential to even go down further. But a 107 is a good Platinum Playground. I don't know how many time travels you got, but even so, I think that was a good. That was a good time.
Also, one thing I really need to learn, but I don't have enough patience, it's Radius.
Radius, there's different levels of learning radius. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's kind of a spectrum of safe to all out crazy that you can do, and the amount of time saved between them is significant. But as long as you get through it deathless, you're fine. Or even with,
I think most,
as long as you get to the last checkpoint, then you usually won't lose too much time.
I think what I usually get on radius is like a 1 minute and 10 to 20 seconds.
Right.
In that range, so I'm not really that happy with it, but it works, and I can get like sub 40 with that radius, so it's fine.
All right, let's see. I'm hoping for your sake. I imagine this is probably going to make it to the goal.
I hope so too.
I'm always nervous on the end of radius, though. It's kind of, it can be a coin flip sometimes, or that's how it feels at least. There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
And now you have time to save on your splits, but you still have a good split for radius that you can kind of measure against, depending on what strats you're going for.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, and having good splits, I find it changes the way you run.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish that I split each level so I could see my, like, a better accurate sum of best and current pace.
Yeah.
But I find it annoying to have to split every level if it's not chapter runs.
Yeah, I get it. Although if there is, and I think I've mentioned this before, but if there is a chapter that you do individual splits on, I think chapter 6 is the right one. Even if you only do chapter splits for the rest of them, it's definitely worth doing chapter 6 splits on every level.
Yeah. Well, I do have my record of a 21-minute chapter 6 on the leaderboards, and I don't know if I want to beat that one.
You don't ever want to beat it?
No, it's
I
like
think you do.
Last on the chapter 6, and it's like...
I think in this run you do beat that.
Yeah, definitely I beat the 21-minute I have on the board, but the one I have on the board is just like a meme run that I put out.
You know what, Olaf? I don't think you're a meme runner. I think with this run that you've put up, you've kind of proven that you're not a meme runner, and you are, in fact, a speedrunner. You've got a good time.
I'm starting to get in around the cool kids.
You always were one of the cool kids. Don't worry about that.
No.
Except when you posted that fake run. Never mind.
Which one?
Which one?
I think I have two, actually.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, third try escalation, the first kickflip. Not too bad.
Yep. Yeah, first kickflip can be tricky. And then...
And first try second. I think that was one of the biggest time savers for me in this run.
Oh yeah, certainly. Did you do kickflips in your previous PB?
Yes, I did. I don't know if I did all three kickflips or if I only did the second and the third one.
Right.
Anyway, I did the second kickflip either way. And I think I spent in some runs up to 2 minutes on escalation alone.
Yeah. But here you are. That was a pretty solid escalation, despite a couple of resets at the start.
And better confidence.
Yes. Seeing this run, I feel like a part of me inside that was already like on life support is now alive again.
That's great.
This brings life back into my lungs. Seeing you do this confluence correctly.
I got so many, like...
Did you get death threats from people online? I mean, why would anyone send those, but that's awful.
I know that I think Savardra and Katz both laughed at me, both in Discord and on Gluten stream.
Yep.
He humiliated me on his stream, so...
I wish that I was feeling pity for you, but I feel like you kind of deserved that.
Yeah, it was just horrible to watch.
For context, I watched Olaf's previous PB that he did, and oh my gosh, it was awful. The warp, the confluence route that he was doing, had no idea where he was going, and he died like 6 times.
I can explain that. So that route is what I got my first. That was the exact same route I used to get diamond time on conference for the first time.
Oh, that was a little bit disappointing on Olympus. I thought you had that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna survive. It was very close to a save. Anyways, so that was like the first route that you used for diamond time, and you just never learned anything else.
Yeah, so when I first got diamond time on conference, I tried to get diamond time on every level. That was the route I did use, so I just stuck with that.
Yeah, well, now you've graduated from kindergarten, and now you're in grade 1. You could do warp core.
Yay!
Do you use the word kindergarten in Sweden?
Yes, I believe so.
I know it's kind of
a
German word, but
wait, what did you guys define as kindergarten?
In Canada, and I believe most of the United States, kindergarten is the kind of the first year of school / kind of preschool.
Oh.
So when kids are 5 years old, generally is when they'll enter kindergarten, and that comes right before the first grade of school.
So we have it called doggies in Sweden.
Okay.
That's practically kindergarten. So that's when you're like the first time you're going to school in quotation marks.
Right.
And then a couple of years later you go out to grade 1 to 6, and then you go to grade 7 to 9, and then you begin from 1 to 3 again.
Yep, that sounds pretty much exactly like we have it in most of Canada.
Yeah.
Some places in Canada do 4 years of high school. Some, it changes from region to region.
Yeah.
Oh, that was... Olympus is hard to watch. It's always hard to watch. Interesting. Yeah, I learned something about Sweden.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
We do have a German player in our community, but I will say kindergarten. I believe kinder definitely means child in German, and then garten, as far as I know, it just means school.
Also, so wonder why we're talking about kindergarten and school. But it's funny out of context.
Yeah, but the reason is because you graduated from learning how to share and learning how to count to 3, which was basically the equivalent of your previous confluence route. And now you're actually running the game. Now you're a real speedrunner.
Also, I do the slow start on Tangle here, but I am using the fast start in my runs now.
Yeah. You know what? This start on Tangle, I can respect it. This definitely saves time over what I did in my run, which was fail the start like 4 times. So,
I mean, I did take it from you from a few months ago during one of your live streams. I just remember it.
This finish though is pretty scary to me. But I guess if you're used to it, you can land it pretty consistently. Like
there's this and thing that I know that you do, that when you drop down, you use the super jump up.
Yep.
And grab the gem.
That's a fun route. I mess it up sometimes though.
Got me do that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, even in my sub 40, I got that second try instead of first try. I was sad.
What I'm comfortable with doing is doing that, because I have kind of got the feeling for doing it now.
And it's pretty quick. It's not really much slower than doing the fastest possible route, and you got it first try. So, did you? I don't think you touched the. Oh, you did. Barely. Yeah, that was interesting. I think you touched the trim.
I think it takes. Yeah, I touched the trim and then go back.
That was very precise then.
I'm always scared of messing up that skip.
Yeah, so I'm guessing at this point you're pretty excited. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. I was nervous.
Yeah, I can feel that. I've definitely been in this position before where I'm way ahead. And did you realize that you were 8 minutes ahead right now? Is that what you're thinking? Oh no,
No, I did
okay,
not realize how much I had.
that's true. Okay, so I need to kind of remind myself that your PB is actually a 46. So you're really only about a little more than 3 minutes ahead, not actually 8 minutes
Yeah.
ahead.
I didn't look at the timer at all, so I didn't realize how much further, but I know I was low.
You knew you were low, and here you're coming in, and it's 45, 41, 45, and you're under 42 minutes.
4 minutes ahead of my old chapter 6 split.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. And before we do that, let's just remind ourselves again. You know, you had a 46 that you could have submitted that would have put you somewhere in 11th or 12th, and now you're I think 12th probably, and now you're skipping all the way from 14th place here with your 49.54, and we're gonna verify this, and you're gonna go zooming all the way up to 9th place or 10th place, sorry, because it will still be after mine, and then mine is going to move up to either 5th or 6th, depending on whether it beats Hatchet or not after retime. Anyways, now you're kind of playing with the big boys, and you're in the top 10. So congratulations to you for making that run, and you're officially in the top 50% of all runners who have ever submitted to speedrun.com. Yay! And I'm expecting some good things from you in the future. Now let's look at that new. Let's look at this new leaderboard, and there you are, right there in 10th place. So congratulations to you for pulling that off.
Yeah, thank you. Now I finally beat Gluten, so now I'm the second best Swede.
Yep. Now you're the second best Swede. You're ahead of Gluten. You're ahead of August. You're ahead of Nuclear, and you're even ahead of Reezy. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Surprise.
So coming up next is going to be the Super Bowl, the second annual Super Bowl race, which is this Saturday in 2 days, I guess. Oh my goodness. 2 days from now, February 6th at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Whatever that is in GMT, you can look it up yourself. That's really cool. I'm excited. But looking beyond that, like what are you thinking about for the future for yourself as a speedrunner?
I guess at some point, if I have the motivation to beat AFM,
right?
If I can get a sub 40 and then continue to shave off and get a couple of new tricks, I think I might, with a very good run, beat AFM in a few months, maybe.
That's really cool. That's a really good sight to set for yourself, to just take the national record off of Altham, and that's going to be a time improvement of, let me see, pretty close to 3.5 minutes, I guess.
Yes, I think
you're going from almost 42 to 38.5. So yeah, about 3.5 minutes, and it's going to take some new strats, and it's going to take a little more consistency, but I think with time you'll be able to reach that. And I can see a number of the runners right now who are in the sub 45 range of potentially challenging for one of those medal spots, one of those top fours. So if you're Savadra and you want to hold on to your bronze medal, you better get running. And if you're Atham and you want to hold on to that silver medal, you better get running, because there's people running after you, and we're gonna catch up.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me on Speedrunner Showcase. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have yourself a really great day. Anything else you'd like to say for the viewers at home?
World record on Olympus.
World record on Olympus. You heard it here first, folks.
Have you seen that?
I don't think so, but I'll look it up later. All right. Thanks again. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.